Okay, Alyssa, your first trip to India since you were there with the New South Wales under-19 team, what sort of experience are you going to take from that tour onto this one?
Probably mainly the good old-fashioned Indian timing. Whenever we say, oh, they'll be here in half an hour, it normally takes about 2 hours. So I guess just that experience of being there before and sort of knowing a little bit about the culture and how it works over there is going to be good going into tomorrow.
It's Australia's first tour there since 2007. I know a few girls have been there in between, but what's the reasoning behind doing this tour right now?
Obviously, it was a really good idea to go to a subcontinent for a series, obviously, before the T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka later this year. So it was kind of, I think it was late planning, but luckily the Indians got on board and organised the series, and we're really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can put a few combinations together that hopefully the team will use in the 2020 later this year, and hopefully get on a roll.
Last time Australia played, India was in the Quad Series in England, and before that the T20 World Cup in the West Indies. What sort of things are you expecting from this tour?
Obviously I wasn't on the Quad Series, so I can't comment too much on that, but the Indian team are quite up and down. They seem to have their really good days and then some absolute shockers. So they always seem to lift against Australia though, and I think we're going to be really wary of that. And obviously they might be similar to us and have a few young kids coming through that they might want to trial for the 2020 World Cup later in the year as well. So to be honest, for me personally, I'm sort of going into this fairly open-minded and just going to see what happens when I get there. But obviously there's some of the more experienced players like Julan Goswami and the Chopras and people like that have been around for a while. We're probably going to expect to play, so we'll prepare to play those guys and see what we get from the rest.
You played the last series for Australia as a specialist batter. How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've always sort of had my keeping and my batting, and they've sort of gone hand in hand, and when I have a poor day with one, I seem to be able to get back in the game with the other. But now that I'm just a batter these days, it's a little bit different, and obviously I'm enjoying being able to spend more time on just the one discipline, although I'm still working hard with my gloves. I'm still hitting more balls in the nets and things like that. So I'm enjoying that challenge, and fingers crossed to get a few opportunities in India and put my claim forward for the World Cup.
Now, obviously, going to India at this stage means you're going to miss the business end of the Sydney grade competition. Would you like to give us a tip before you go about who you think is going to end up with the trophy?
Look, you can never really go past Bankstown or St George at the moment. They seem to be the two most consistent teams going around, and obviously they don't think they'll lose too many players from the copious amounts of girls that are going overseas representing Australia. So probably one of those two. However, in saying that, universities have done pretty well this season, but it'll be interesting to see how they go without Alex and Rach. But yeah, probably Bankstown and St George. Although look out for Sydney, you never know.
Alyssa, thanks very much and good luck.